This Sunday, the Vikings take on the 2.5-point favorite Detroit Lions. Their last 4 games for Detroit, offensively, they've averaged 353 yards and 32.5 points per game while allowing 372 yards and 22 points per. They're a high-octane offense, and even though they give up all the yards, they also force turnovers, much like the Vikings. For this game, if the Vikings are going to win, it's very simple. Kevin O'Connell is going to have to put up a masterpiece in play calling. Assume the Lions will be at their best, which means if you're going to win this game, it's going to be in a shootout. Might come down to who has the ball last, or if Minnesota can force a couple of turnovers, even better. But for Kevin O'Connell, you can't afford to dilly-dally here. The inside screen game does not work. Please stop. Last week versus the Jets, the run game was effective. If you have similar success this time around, keep it going. Don't turn away from it. Now for the Lions, their secondary as of Thursday, Jeff Okudah DNP with an illness. Will Harris with a hip injury was limited. Not great. That aside, use the aggression of the Lions secondary against them. The Lions are top 10 in DPIs called against them. Make it your mission, if you're Kevin O'Connell, to have Kirk Cousins get the ball into his playmakers' hands. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, TJ Hawkinson, and Jefferson especially, the type of grabs that he makes on the regular, it would frustrate anyone to get a bit handsy. Get the yards and or the flags. Jared Goff, he's not going to let up. Why should you? Now, depending on their pass rush, because when you look at the season as a whole for the Lions, getting after the quarterback, they have not been good. 22 sacks on the year. However, the last 4 games, 10 sacks, nearly half their season total. The previous 8 games, they had 12. Kevin O'Connell, he's going to have to be mindful of the time or lack thereof that Kirk Cousins has, because the interior offensive line is back to being a mess. But if you don't have the time for your receivers to go downfield and get open, you're going to have to go to the quick passing game. You can get yards on this defense as long as you're not conservative. Treat every drive that you have as a precious opportunity that you only get so much of before it's too late. Get complacent and you set yourself back. Now on defense, the sick bug has lessened its impact. P2 was a full participant yesterday. Harrison Smith was limited. That's a great sign. Now, Danielle Hunter, still a DNP in yesterday's practice, but worst case, you have the depth at outside linebacker to get by. DeAndre Swift, he's healthy and back to his old self last week against Jacksonville, over 100 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown. He's such a problem in the passing game that I don't even know what you do with the Vikings personnel in those situations, because it's not a favorable coverage matchup for Eric Kendricks. And if you decide to bring a safety down, well, you're presenting single coverage opportunities for guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, who the last 4 games is averaging over 100 yards receiving. What do you even do? It's like pick your poison. And we can't say, well, P2, he's having a great year. He can follow St. Brown wherever he goes because St. Brown is a slot receiver. So Chandon Sullivan, I guess do the best you can, but I'm not holding my breath there. But the Lions offense, they will put up yards and points. You have to look at it like that. A bend but don't break defense, it's fine, but sometimes they do in fact break. So it's on the shoulders of this offense to keep up in this track meet, which they have the players to do it. And maybe this will be the game where the light bulb gets turned on to where Kevin O'Connell says, this style of offense, this could be us all the time. And I'm hoping this will be the game that wakes up the sleeping giant within the Vikings that the Vikings didn't even realize was asleep in the first place. But I've got the Vikings going 14-3. I'm going to stick with that. And because I don't fear the Giants anymore, they're on a downward spiral. To me, the Lions are the last remaining threat the rest of this schedule. I'm going to say the Vikings will lose this game. It will be a close one. Final score projection, 28-27 Detroit. Your thoughts in the comments section below. We're back at it on Sunday after the game. We will see you then. Enjoy the game, everybody.